Welcome to a new week here on the Retirement Quick Tips podcast. I'm your host, Ashley Micciche, co-owner of True North Retirement Advisors, a fee-only fiduciary financial advisory practice managing over $400 million in client assets. If you are 5 to 10 years on either side of retirement and looking for some daily quick tips to help you on your retirement journey, you are in the right place. And this week's theme is top regrets from retirees and how to avoid them. One of the interesting things about starting my career as a financial advisor at the age of 22, hard to believe, why would anybody take advice about retirement from a 22-year-old? I don't know, but they did, and here I am. One of the things, though, that I learned from working with people who at the time were often 50 years older than me and had decades of experience and benefits of that and the wisdom and knowledge that comes with looking at things in hindsight. I learned from a lot of my clients that they regretted waiting too long to start planning and saving and investing for retirement. And the hard part about that, and why I'm not going to dwell on it too much in the podcast this week, but I think it is worth mentioning, at least in today's episode as the introduction, is that, well, most of you listening, you're not 20 or 30 or even 40, you're 50, 55, 60 years old. And so the advice or the regret of waiting too long to plan doesn't help you a whole lot at this stage. However, when I was 22 years old, it really made an impression on me. I thought, you know what? I better not fall into this same regret myself. So at the age of 22, I started saving and planning and investing for my own retirement. So selfishly, I'm really glad that I had that perspective of working with so many boomers at the time, older boomers who were much further along and retired at that point. And so I was able to benefit selfishly from their own regrets and make different choices in my own life. So this week, I'm going to focus on some of the top regrets from retirees and also some advice for how you can avoid those yourself. Things like ignoring inflation. I'm actually going to talk about that one tomorrow. It is also a very common, very pervasive problem that I see that people ignore throughout their adult life and not just in retirement. So I'll talk about ways that you can pay attention to it and plan for inflation because it is a silent killer. I'll also talk about regrets related to healthcare, long-term care insurance, having too complicated of a life in retirement. Many people don't realize that the accumulation of more isn't always a good thing. So we'll talk about that. And then I'll talk about some of the repercussions when you don't plan enough and plan for in advance. So I'll try to address these regrets from the standpoint of what could you do if you're later in career or really close to retirement to address these and how you can avoid them or at least mitigate them in your own life. Thank you so much for listening. My name is Ashley Micciche, and this is the Retirement Quick Tips podcast.